Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our Demystifying Microsoft podcast. In today's episode of What's New with Microsoft, we're going to be discussing Copilot agents again. As a reminder, my name is Wade Walker, VP of the Microsoft Alliance here at the Sourcepass MCOE. In my role as the VP of Microsoft Alliance, I'm committed to transforming complexity within the Microsoft ecosystem and getting information out to you as quickly as possible after it comes out from Microsoft. Updates come fast and furious from Microsoft, so it's up to us to make sure we get these updates out to you so you can hear what's going on in the Microsoft world, start to use these new tools, and make them make your life a little bit better. Today, we're going to be discussing Copilot agents, which, as I mentioned last week, are new for many people. This is our third episode in our Copilot series. In the previous episode, we discussed Copilot Researcher, which is Microsoft's Copilot agent for doing deep dive research. And a quick refresher for those who are asking yourselves, you may have asked it this last episode if you were watching, you could be asking again, what the heck is an agent, Wade? An agent, think of it as an AI-powered assistant that helps you complete more complex tasks or answer more complex questions, or in the case of last week with Copilot Researcher, do some more deep dive research for you. So these agents can work with your Microsoft 365 tools such as Teams and Word. They work in custom business processes. They connect to other systems and really help you in a manner in which you need to have an agent help you. Agents are conversational. You interact with it. So almost view it as an agent as like a coworker, a teammate, an employee, a contractor. So you interact with it. It's conversational. It's context aware, which is important. It understands the environment in which it's working. So if you say to look at your calendar, in the case of Researcher last week, we said, hey, look at some data to do some research on. You can make your custom agents to look at some more data, and we'll get into that in a future episode. They can be task-oriented, these agents can, and they're customizable. So some examples, like we mentioned, of Copilot agents. Sales Copilot, you may have heard of Sales Copilot. It goes into your CRM systems like Dynamics 365 and does some sales-related information for you. These agents are customizable. Heck, you can make one for your help desk, your IT help desk, and have it pour over all of your IT help desk information and provide answers to commonly asked questions out there in your user community. So that's just a quick refresher of what agents are. So now that we've reviewed Copilot agents, let's discuss a new agent from Microsoft. This one's called Copilot Analyst. Similar to Copilot Researcher, Analyst is in your Copilot pane of agents. So you'll see it on the left side. You'll see Researcher, you'll see Analyst. Analyst helps you perform some deep dive data analysis without needing technical experience. So for those of you like myself who know Excel pretty well, but I'm not brilliant at it, and I've certainly never written Python code to analyze my Excel spreadsheets, my best friend now is Copilot Analyst, who can do those things for me, which makes me really happy because I don't want to be learning Python or other new coding solutions right now. I mean, I could, but if Copilot's going to do it for me, 2 thumbs up to that. View Copilot Analyst almost like a data scientist that can help you analyze these spreadsheets, generate reports, look at some databases, look at XML files, look at JSON files, look at a whole bunch of different structured data, and help you analyze that data and get the data that you're looking for, whether it's reports, whether it's lists, whether it's connecting to other data sources for reports. All of that is at your fingertips with Copilot Analyst. As a reminder, similar to Researcher, which we talked about last week, Analyst differs a bit from Copilot. So if you have Microsoft 365 Copilot, which is similar to ChatGPT, if you're searching out on the internet, Copilot also looks at your data within your Microsoft 365 ecosystem. Copilot is designed to provide you some quick, fast, context-aware, transactional information, whereas Analyst, similar to Researcher, does a deeper dive. So Analyst is going to take longer to get the information to you. It's going to be asking you some questions, so you're going to be interacting with it. And then it's going to give you some reports on your data. You can have it do graphs and charts, all at the fingertips of your Copilot interface, all without you having to go in Excel and create pivot tables, write code, do some things like that, which for people like me takes me a long time. Having Copilot Analyst do it for me has really saved me quite some time. A little bit of background on what Copilot Analyst is, kind of behind the curtains. Similar researcher with advances in AI and LLMs, agents like analysts have the capability to act like a member of your team. So again, start to view these things as teammates, people on your team. You have to kind of think outside the box a little bit like that, and you help manage these teammates. Analyst uses a chain of thought approach. A chain of thought approach uses a step-by-step reasoning for these analytical tasks, and it's based on OpenAI's O3 mini model, which leverages this chain of thought approach to help do this deep dive analysis of your data in an analytical data scientist mindset. And as I mentioned earlier, it can write code for you. Like, how cool is that? In the data scientist analytical world, as I mentioned, it's common to use Python code with Excel spreadsheets. Now you can have analysts do this for you, and you don't have to tell it the code to write. You just tell it what you're looking for, and it can help write the code to get you the data that you need. So really super cool that you now have a data analyst at your side in Copilot to help do data analysis, data visualization. You can see how I mix those two words, how it can do it for you. So let's talk about a use case. I always like telling stories. I think it's much easier to understand all of this when we tell a story. For years when I was running sales, I would do sales reports every month. We'd have an export of data once a month. And from that data, I would do reports on the top customers, customers that are growing, customers that might be contracting, so they'd be a concern, what the customers were buying, trends like that. So really the customer analysis trends. And then we have a sales team. So who's selling what? Which salesperson's customers are growing the most, which are not growing the most, who's adding the most new customers, net new customers. So how are we growing in the net new space? What seems to be popular that the customers are buying and or what the salespeople are selling. In doing so, does it match the trends of what Microsoft is asking for us to sell? Are we selling products that are aligned to what Microsoft's telling us, or are there other products that are really hot and all of a sudden everybody is buying something? For example, when the pandemic started 3-4 years ago, it seemed like all of our customers were buying Teams Phone because all of their employees were working from home these days and they needed a virtual phone system. And data like this really helps drive the conversation of what's happening, what's hot, what's not, what do we need to make sure we're selling more of. And then also it's data from the sales side also helps with forecasting. So if we see that certain projects and certain technologies are really hot, then we need to make sure our support teams and our engineering teams, professional services teams are ready to deliver these solutions. So this report that I would do once a month was really important for the health of the business, the growth of the business, and for forecasting what projects were coming down the pipeline. Well, as you can imagine, this report didn't take me seconds, didn't take me minutes, would take me hours. So I would set a time at the beginning of every month, download the report. It came from a couple different sources, manually input some data because not all the data was in all the sources, put it all together, put together a pivot table, start running some charts and graphs, and stop me if you've heard this before, because for many of you on this call or listening to this podcast, you're saying to yourself, yep, I've done that. I know that. I know that pain. And once it becomes common, you just start doing it. You sort of forget that you just do this once a month and there might be a better way to do it. Well, enter Copilot Analyst. Copilot Analyst takes that same data that I'm talking about with our top customers, what they're buying, our top sellers, what they're selling, what the trends are. And literally Copilot Analyst does this for you. Hard to believe, but I literally take these files now, I drag and drop them into Copilot Analyst. It asks me a few questions, which are now in some ways kind of templatized. And now I have this AI data scientist at my fingertips that's making my life a lot easier, because now I take the information, put it in there, answer a few questions, and then get the same reports I was getting, which would take me hours before. And if your life is like mine, I can set aside a few hours to work on something, and I'd frequently get interrupted by something else, and then I have to go back and start on that again. And that inertia takes time to ramp up. Now it's in the construct of my Copilot Analyst agent. It knows who I am. It knows the information I've sent to it. And now it gives me information on, the top customers for the past month, which customers are growing the most, which are potentially contracting, which sales members are having the most net new customers or are having the most growth within customers. I get nice, beautiful data visualization charts and graphs that I don't have to create anymore. And I've timed it. It would take me 3 to 4 to 5 hours previously to do this manually myself. I'm done now in about 10, 15 minutes with Analyst, which is just stunning to me. But I'm saving that many hours. And the other thing is, because I've got this data now in Copilot Analyst, I'm now getting more data and more information out of it than I ever did in the past. So let's say we want some other report that I haven't created before, or we need something a little different. Before, I'd have to go look at that pivot table, maybe edit it a little bit, make a new pivot table. Now I just ask Copilot Analyst to do it for me. And I'm literally, it feels like I'm talking to a data scientist. I'm not talking, I'm typing. But it feels like I'm typing, sending a text message, a Teams chat message to my data scientist, who is then responding with all of this information right back at me. The first set of analysis does take a little bit of time, like I've warned, just like researchers. So when you give it the data, you have to wait a little bit. But by waiting a little bit, I mean like a few minutes. And while it's doing its work, I'm then moving over to email or Teams chat and responding to messages or working on some other tasks. So it's happening in the background while I'm multitasking, which is, to me, amazing. I mentioned last week, I'm a big fan of researcher. I'm an even bigger fan of analyst because of all the reports I do, all the spreadsheets that we have. It's an amazing agent, amazing addition to Copilot. So if you haven't had a chance to try Analyst, give it a go today. Follow the prompts. It's really pretty simple to use. Look at the results you're getting. Ask it to tweak the results for you. And I think in no time flat, Analyst will become a key member of your team. As far as licensing goes, Analyst is included in your Microsoft Copilot subscription. It is limited to 25 queries per month because it is an intensive processing that's required. But for me, I'm using it and I keep doing my individual queries on it. And I haven't run into that 25 queries per month limit. So it's great. It's in your Copilot pane on the left-hand side. It and Researcher are side by side next to any other agent you may have created. Okay, so thank you again for attending this episode of What's New with Microsoft. Join us next time to learn more about Copilot agents. If you've enjoyed this episode, please make sure to like, comment, and share it. Really helps our channels. And please don't forget to subscribe. In addition, please go to our website at sourcepassmcoe.com to learn more and chat with one of our experts. Thank you. Have a great day.